Hi, welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture, in the previous lecture, we've discussed about how we can implement a clustering algorithm, unsupervised classification. In this case, we'll use a supervised classification called CART. CART is one of a machine learning algorithm called classification and regression tree, which is more of like a decision tree kind of algorithm. And it requires a training data, so it's a supervised classification that's why we call it supervised. It's supported by a human interpretation, and then you need to provide some sample training data. Based on that training data, it will learn the trend and the pattern, and then make a prediction for some of your study area that you don't have training data. So this is one classic machine learning algorithm, so to speak, a supervised classification family. And first thing first, some housekeeping. If you have not already done so, try to execute these few scripts to install Earth Engine on your system. I'm hoping that you have already managed to do so in the previous lectures, but if not, then execute these codes to make sure that Earth Engine is installed in your machine or system. And the other thing is the Folium package to display your map result. Okay, so this is the main part of the lecture. Okay, so this is the in this chunk we'll run a CART classification on Earth Engine. So the first thing is to import your image data and your image collection. In this case, I'll use Landsat 8 satellite data, and because it is a global data in a long time series, I'll filter my image by some year. So in this case, I'll focus on, because my data is spanning for a long time series, I'll focus here on, I'll filter it by date, and in this case I'll use only data for 2018. And also I'll run an Earth Engine built-in simple composite algorithm to generate a composite, and generate a single image out of this image collection for 2018. So I'll have one single image here out of this image collection. And the other thing is define the different bands that I will need to access, which I'll be using in my model later. So bands are the different bands that I'll be using in my classification algorithm. And instead of generating new training data here, I'll use an already existing land cover label, which is a demo generated by Google, the Earth Engine team, which is demo land cover labels, which is for the basic land cover classes like soil, vegetation, and water and things like that. So the label for this data is land cover, which I'll be using for my classification. Okay, and so what I will do here is, using these data points or training data, I'll extract some samples from my image. Okay, my image, and for each band here, you see bands here. For each band in my image, I'll extract data points using this point data, all right, this shape file. So what it means is that for each data point, or for land cover class, I'll extract the different band values for all of these bands. Okay, that's what this is doing. So it's extracting training data using the image and the training points. And I'll use this for my CART classification. So let's go ahead and train our CART classification. So eeclassifier.cart will specifically initiate a CART classification and regression model, and we need to train that based on our training here. This is our training data, so we need to feed that training data here. Label and bands, that means which label are we using in this data set, land cover, and also the different bands we're using here. And once we have trained our model, a cart model, the next thing is to make a classification of our Landsat image. Okay, so classified is equal to image. Mind you, here's the image. I already generated image composite here, and I'll select the different bands which I defined over here and classify trained. So I'll supplement the model. So trained is the cart model which I already generated by initiating a training data. Okay, so this will give me an image, a classified image using cart and my training data. All right, so at the last I'll display my classified image as well as the raw Landsat image here, and then here's the classified image, and execute this part of the script, and it's running, and that's done. I'll execute here to display my classification result here. So this is the classification result based on the cart model. As you can see here, I can zoom in here. This is the California, Northern California. You know, the water here and some urban area and vegetation cover. So this is not a really advanced classification, but I mean, you can improve the classification by providing your own training data, pretty much high resolution training data, to improve the model. But technically what we have done here is just use an existing training data and generate a Landsat composite and just implement a cart supervised classification and apply that classification model to our Landsat image, and that's how we generated this this classification map result. So the blue is water area, this is urban area, the San Francisco Bay Area, and some forest cover over here. You can just check what it is. For example, here you can overlay your classification model by the Google background image. So that's how you implement a cart or supervised classification using Python API on Earth Engine.